So in the previous video, we saw some of the basic elements of how the Indian number system really looked at this whole idea of representing numbers. We saw the importance of zero, we understood the decimal system used by Indians, then number names and large numbers, all that we saw. In this video what we will see is certain unique approaches to actually represent numbers. Now the reason for this is simple, the need for this is simple. Representing very large numbers in an oral tradition requires some convenient and compact representation mechanisms, otherwise it becomes very difficult. And in this process, when Indians actually thought about this, what we find is Indian mathematics seamlessly integrated mathematics with literature and poetry, because the numbers all became nice poetry, as we will see very soon. And the methodology is the numbers require an equivalent phrase or alphabets, so that when you put all of them together, you not only get some assemblage of numbers, but also a easily rememberable phrase or a word or a sort of a sentence. So this was the approach that Indians took, and there are three major systems, but for the purpose of this video we will look at two systems. One is called Bhūta-Saṃkhyā system and another is called Katapayadi system. So in this video we will see a little bit of details on Bhūta-Saṃkhyā, and in the next video we will see some details of the Katapayadi system. So let us try to understand the basic building blocks of Bhūta-Saṃkhyā before we try a few examples. Basically, Bhūta-Saṃkhyā system is a structured approach to express numbers. Basically we have numbers from 0 to 9. So what Bhūta-Saṃkhyā does is to have a mechanism by which each of these number from 0 to 9 can be represented using words which represent certain entities. As we see, there are two parts to this compound word Bhūta-Saṃkhyā, Bhuta and Saṃkhyā. So Bhuta denotes some entity, as we all know, and Saṃkhyā is a number. So essentially what really happens is the entities are things or beings or concepts that are commonly known to us. Just to give you an example, if we use the word I, EYE, not capital I, EYE, we can spontaneously associate this with the number 2 because we all have only 2 eyes. So whenever you want to say 2, one methodology is use the word I. So this is the basic idea in Bhūta-Saṃkhyā. To broaden the scope of using this Bhūta-Saṃkhyā system, synonyms are also used. Just to give you an example, Chandra, moon, is used for the number 1 because there is only one moon. The other synonyms of the moon such as Sashi, Vidhu, Soma, Indu are also used. So basically you have now a wide plate from which you can choose words which will represent a certain number, and that is how the whole thing can be constructed. So what we see is it is basically an open-ended list. There isn't any fixed list, and it is up to the user to choose an appropriate word corresponding to a certain number. And what it means is the user will pick up an appropriate word pertaining to the occasion in which the user wants to actually use the number. So it is fairly open and the scope is wide, and that is the idea behind the Bhūta-Saṃkhyā system. Just to give you an example, what are all the different conventions used? First of all, word names for the numbers itself are used. For example, Shunya can be used for 0, Ekam for 1, Dvi for 2, Trini for 3, Chatwari 4, etc., etc., Nava for 9 and so on. That is one straight method of using. Some physical entities can be used: earth, moon, stars, mountain, fire, sky. Can be examples from the animal kingdom. Elephant, in Indian tradition it is believed that 8 elephants actually support this earth. So a number 8 is always represented by elephant. elephant, horse, snake. Snake also there are 8 of them. So number 8 can be represented by snake also. Then one can use parts of the body, eyes, limbs, 7 dhatus. So whenever you want to say 7, there are sapta dhatus which make us actually. So one can use the word dhatu for 7. So like that. So it is fairly wide. One can add to it, one can make use of it, and then one can start representing the numbers. Names of the gods, Shiva, Vishnu, Indra. See, the word Rama is used. Rama always means 3. Why? Because there are only 3 popular Ramas. Parashurama, Rama and Balarama. So Rama is used for number 3 actually. Manu, there are 14 Manus and so on. Agni, there are 3 major Agnis, Garhapatya, Ahavaniya and Dakshina. So like this. There are other concepts such as seasons, 6 seasons, months for 12, days, bhutas, 5 bhutas and so on. So what we see is this system in a way permits the user to beautifully merge aesthetics and literature into mathematical ideas and numbers that he or she wants to communicate through some nice verses or shlokas, because we can always remember some of these verses much easier than some large numbers and so on. So what we will do now is to actually go through a few examples. So essentially what you see here is a representative list. For example, 0 can be represented as Shunya, 0 can be represented as Shunya as you see here. 1 can be Adi or Chandra, Prithvi, there is only one earth, no? Eka. Then like this it goes on. If you take 4 for example, Veda, there are 4 Vedas, Shruti, Yuga, 4 Yugas, 4 Ashramas, 4 Varnas. So wherever you want to use the number 4, these kinds of words can be used. Panchabhutas as I was telling you. So that is why you have 5 in Bhutas. Bana, Pandava. Pandava can be used for a number 5. We all know that. So like that it goes on. If you take a number 11, there are 11 Rudras actually. That's why the word Rudra can be used for 11. There are 12 Rashis and 12 Adityas. 12 suns are there. So that's why it is called 12 and so on. So like that one can go on. That's what you see in this particular example. This is only a partial list, as I have been mentioned here. It is only a partial list. The list can be expanded. The list can be added with more and more, which we are very sort of used to and so on. So it is an open-ended list in that sense. Now we will take some examples and see. It says Ramachandra Guna Nanda Ritu Padaha. So that is sort of a. So let us first split it. Rama, that is the first one that you get. As I told you, Rama means a number 3. Chandra, there is only one moon. So Chandra means 1. Guna, there are 3 gunas. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So Guna actually means 3. Nanda is 9. Ritu or seasons 6. Padaha, we all have only 2 legs. So 2. Now how to get the number? In the Indian system, you have to read from right to left. So whatever number you have found, you have to write it from the right to left. So 3 will be the first number we found, so it will come here. 1 is the second number. Again Guna is 3, it will come here and so on. So finally the number is 2,69,313. So instead of saying 2,69,313, we may use Bhūta-Saṃkhyā system and say Ramachandra Gunananda Ritupadaha. And there is a nice way by which we may even remember this much easier. Let us take the reverse example. This is the given number, let us say 7,24,543. So we have to start from the right extreme, not from the left. So first we have to decide something for 3. So I am just using Guna to represent 3, as you see here. For 4 I am saying Varna. For 5 I am using the word Bhuta. And again there is a 4. I am using Yuga to describe 4. It doesn't mean you have to use, you cannot use Varna again, you can use also. There is nothing wrong. And then you have number 2. So for 2 you have Netra, because there are only 2 eyes. And for 7 you have Dhatu. So now how do you say 7,24,543 in Bhūta-Saṃkhyā using this methodology? You say Gunavarna Bhūta-Yuganetra Dhatu. And sometimes this is easier to remember than 7,24,543. So this is the other example. From the number we choose the Bhūta-Saṃkhyā and entity and then construct this final word. Gunavarna Bhūta-Yuganetra Dhatu. Now we will look at another interesting example. What you see here is basically Madhavacharya's approximation to pi. So let us read the shloka first. It says, Vibudha Netra Gajahi Hutashana Triguna Veda Bhavarana Bhagavaha, that is line 1. Then Nava Nikarva Mitehe Vritti Vistare Paridhimanamidam Jagadarbhudaha. Actually, it's a nice shloka to remember. Once you memorize it, the shloka will remain with you. That's the power of a shloka. Now let us use Bhūta-Saṃkhyā and find out what is he trying to say. The first word is Vibudha. Vibudha means Devas. Vibhudas are Devas and there are 33 main Devas. So Vibudha actually means 33. Then you have Netra. That's a second. Netra means eyes. So there are 2 eyes. The third is Gaja. Gaja is elephant. As I told you, the number 8 is used for Gaja. Ahi is snake. So therefore, that also represents number 8. Hutashana is actually Agni. Hutashana is actually Agni. And there are 3 Agnis as I told you. Garhapatya, Ahavaniya and Dakshina. Then there is a word 3 itself. 3 itself means 3 and Guna means 3. So there are 3 3s coming one after the other. How is it coming? It says Hutashana 3 Guna. Hutashana is 3, 3 is 3, Guna is also 3. Then Veda, 4 Vedas, so the number 4. Bha means stars and there are 27 stars. And Varana is again elephant, that is the synonym for Gaja which you see already. So that all means 8. And Bhagavaha, Bahu, it is in plural, it is called Bhagavaha because the shloka is ending there. Bahu is hands, so we have 2 hands. So we will now work from right to left. So the numbers are 2 followed by 8. Then you have 27 which is coming from stars. Then 4, 3, 3, 3. Then there are 2 8s coming one after the other and 2 and 33. So we are now talking of a huge number. You cannot remember this number but you can remember this shloka very easily. So 2 trillion 827 billion 433 million 388 233. That is this number. You cannot remember this number but you can remember easily this Vibudha Netra Gajahi Hutashana. So that is line 1. Now what is happening in line 2? In line 2 it says Nava Nikarva. There is a word Nava Nikarva. And this Nava Nikarva, Nikarva is 10 power 11. We saw in one of the earlier videos that 10 power 11 is Nikarva. So Nava Nikarva is 9 into 10 power 11. That is the multiplicative principle which we also saw in one of the earlier videos, how the numbers are represented and so on, higher numbers. So the second line has a number 9 into 10 power 11 and the balance part of the shloka actually talks about the circumference and the diameter ratio. So essentially this shloka is giving this number. It says 28274 333 88233 in the numerator. 9 into 10 power 11 in the denominator. If you take the ratio of that, that is the value of pi, which is, look at how many digits it is accurate, 3.1415926535922. This is the value of pi which Madhavacharya gave, which is a very high approximation to pi, particularly in the 9th century CE. So what we will do is, we will stop here with this Bhūta-Saṃkhyā introduction. We will move to the next system in the next video, which is called Katapayadi, where we will see how there is another method by which the same idea could be done and which can be used to describe large numbers and so on. That we will see in the next video. Thank you.